This is how I film a wedding ceremony. So we're going to look at a part of Polly and Dimitri's wedding film here. So Polly and Dimitri got married at this beautiful chapel, and when I arrived I knew it would look great from the sky. So I quickly grabbed a couple of drone shots, and I started off with one of them here just to set the scene and show the viewer that we're now moving on to the ceremony bit of the film. So to build some anticipation here, I'm showing guests arriving. I had quite a few different shots of this to use, but I've chosen this one just because it also shows the inside of the chapel, and it kind of gives you an immediate sense of how grand it is as a place. So I always film every ceremony with 3 cameras, and I was lucky in this chapel to have a balcony where I could put one of them. And I think it really gives you good context and helps build up that excitement, because you can see the groom kind of determinedly facing forwards, while all of the guests are facing backwards towards the door. So we go back to the groom here, and he's having this nice little nervous interaction with the best man. And it looks as though I'm filming quite close to him here, but if we just go back to the previous shot, you can see that I'm actually quite a distance away, standing alongside the very talented Maya Solo. But I'm using a longer lens just to get a tighter shot of the groom without actually kind of impacting that moment by standing too close to him. So as I said, I'm always using 3 cameras for the ceremony. So I've got the wide angle on the balcony, I've got one camera at the front where I'm stood, and then my final camera is tucked into the pews, shooting down the aisle to get Dimitri's reaction when Polly walks in. So as you can see, he's pretty happy to see her. And then we cut to her walking down the aisle. And then I've gone back to Dimitri here because his reaction's evolved a bit. So he's not so smiley now because the emotion of the moment has kind of taken hold a little bit. So I always like church weddings just because there's often a lot of room in the wings and at the back for me to move around and make sure I'm getting the best angle that I can. And I always try my best as well to get shots of friends and family during the vows, because you as the couple are only looking at each other. You're not seeing your family and friends' reactions. We then got the first kiss, which I'm getting from my camera at the back shooting down the aisle, but I'm also getting from my primary camera from where I'm positioned off to the side. But I always prefer the back shot just because of the symmetry of it and because it gives you this great context with all the guests clapping in the foreground. I've also got the balcony camera too, meaning that I have the freedom, as soon as the first kiss has happened, to pivot and capture guests clapping. So here you can see the bride's parents clapping, and just behind them are the bridesmaids, and then the best man is in the foreground here as well. And that's it. The film then moves on to the evening and to the party, and if you want to see how those shots work in the context of the larger film, you can watch that over on my feed.